Far from the reach of daylight or the noise of the city above, a secret laboratory throbs quietly with activity. The air hums with electricity. Green lights pulse along the edges of glass-paneled floors, casting spectral reflections across dark metal walls. The space feels both clinical and alien. Rows of consoles blink with indecipherable code, casting sharp shadows that shift with the rhythm of unseen machinery. Here, science and secrecy converge, sheltering experiments whose very existence is a guarded threat. Beyond the reinforced doors, something waits. In the innermost chamber, a cylindrical glass pod sits at the center of a circle of computers. Veiled in luminous mist, it holds the slumbering figure of a man, a young adult, mid-20s, muscles atrophied, breathing shallow and even. Wires monitor his vitals, thin frost climbs the pod's walls. Suddenly, alarms pulse red beneath the green glow. The pod hisses, panels retracting in a hiss of steam. Floodlights flare, cutting through the smoke. The man's eyes snap open, a startled, lucid blue. With a desperate cry, he punches upward. Glass cracks and shatters, shards flying outward. The chill of the cryogenic mist is replaced by searing light and the rattle of freedom. Confusion and adrenaline surge as he tumbles from the ruined pod, landing hard on the polished steel. Instinct eclipses memory. Questions, who, what, where, flicker in his mind, but no words form. Only the urge to escape drives him forward. Sirens blare, echoing through the corridors, now suddenly alive with cold, hostile intent. He darts into the passageway, bare feet sliding across seamless glass. Ahead, harsh lights strobe. Behind, the whirring of mechanical wings grows louder. A squadron of drones emerges, red sensors glinting in the mechanical dusk. They fire, sparks ricochet from the walls as he ducks, the air filled with the sharp tang of burning ozone. The chase is on. Each corridor twists and curves, always further from the place he woke, but nowhere close to safety. Metal doors begin to slam closed, one after the other, threatening to seal his fate. Cornered at the end of a narrow junction, he throws himself against a coded door, desperate as the drones close in. Energy crackles at the edge of his senses. Fear, defiance, something unnameable. Pressed flat against the wall with the mechanical hum upon him, he clenches his fists. Suddenly, pain, no, power, erupts in his hands. Before his eyes, blue and violet light bursts from his palms, spiraling in arcs of energy that illuminate the corridor in ethereal color. The drones falter, their electronic brains overwhelmed by the raw surge. One by one, they spark and shatter, collapsing to the ground in a rain of smoldering parts. Breathless, the man stares at his own hands, the last traces of energy fading into a mist of violet. Memory lingers just out of reach, but he knows this. Something within him has changed, or perhaps it has only just awakened. No sooner does realization dawn than a reinforced door splinters, and in lumbers a mutated figure, hulking, twisted, a grotesque reflection of humanity in failed imitation. Scarred flesh, bulging muscles, eyes burning with animal confusion. This was someone's failed experiment, another victim of Project Vanta. The mutant charges, shaking the floor. Glass and metal shriek beneath its weight. Instinct takes over. The man sidesteps, hurling a bolt of luminous blue into the beast's chest. The mutant reels, toppling machinery as it bellows in pain. Clash, energy collides with flesh. The room lights in flashes and sparks until, with a final surge, the man drives his foe back against a sparking console. Flames bloom and the mutant collapses, breathing ragged, defeated but alive. Exhaustion washes over him. The lab is in chaos, alarms still screaming, warning of containment failure. He stumbles out into a central control room, where banks of monitors flicker warnings. Suddenly, over the din, a voice, a hoarse, desperate scream, echoes from behind a sealed door. There's barely time to think. On the control panel, his trembling hand hovers over buttons that could open every lock, offering freedom, but risking total disaster. The scream comes again. He hesitates, torn between the instinct to flee and the pull of empathy. He was not the only experiment. Somewhere within, others like him may be waiting or dying. His breath stirs in the cold air as he listens to the sound of someone else's suffering. For a moment, the world narrows to a single question: save himself or risk everything in an attempt to save another. With trembling resolve, he touches the panel, activating the intercom.
"You're not alone. I'm coming,"
He whispers. Whether to the prisoner or himself, he cannot say. But fate intervenes. A new siren rises, a final warning. The outer doors are unsealed. Emergency lights flicker from green to white, bathing the ruined lab in ghostly clarity. The time for decisions is gone. Security protocols trip. The only path still open leads up, a service shaft stretching to the world above, into the unknown. He races upward, lungs burning, past the final bulkhead. The cold night air greets him with silence. He emerges onto the edge of a massive cliff, exposed to a world he hasn't seen in years, or perhaps ever. Below, the city sprawls, impossibly futuristic, streaked in neon and shimmering silver. Towers climb to touch the clouds. Roads glimmer with traffic like rivers of artificial light. The wind tugs at the ragged white gown that clings to his frame, now stained and torn. He stands silhouetted beneath the moon, cape of mist and memory swirling behind him. For a long moment, he simply looks. Past the laboratory horrors, past the scars of scientific hubris, toward the countless lives moving in the city below. Power flickers at his fingertips, quiet now but ever present. He is part mystery, part weapon, an unfinished echo of his creators, but free at last to choose. Somewhere behind him, the darkness of the now ruined lab whispers of unfinished business. But for tonight, beneath infinite stars, he stands in the wind, poised between shadow and hope, and dares to imagine a different future.